We've been driving the open roads of Mario Kart World for several weeks now, and we're starting to get an idea of how its new lineup of 30 tracks stacks up against the rest of the Mario Kart series. So now is the perfect time to rank the top 25 Mario Kart tracks of all time, from classic stadiums to iconic dirt tracks to the legendary Rainbow Road. This list was voted on by a panel of IGN's Mario Kart superfans, and we put a few rules in place for the ranking. First, we're only considering the original version of a track, so if it got a remake in something like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, that doesn't count here. Second, and this is a big one, we're only counting one track with each unique name. That means only one Rainbow Road is allowed on the list, and only one Bowser's Castle is allowed on the list. So we had to sit down and decide what's the best of each track with each unique name. So with those rules in place, here are IGN's top 25 best Mario Kart tracks of all time.
Let's go!
We're kicking off our list with Toad's Turnpike from Mario Kart 64. With Mario Kart graduating from its Mode 7 graphics on Super Nintendo and truly entering the 3D realm with the N64, the series got to play around with more complex obstacles like moving cars. The Turnpike had us racing on a busy freeway with buses and sedans that absolutely devastated your race if you collided with them. It has great vibes for an early course too, with chill music fitting of a late night cruise and a nice sunset gradient off in the distance. Mario Kart World's highways are littered with traffic, and Toad's Turnpike is where it all started.
Let's go!
Ninja Hideaway is the best thing to come out of the Mario Kart mobile game Mario Kart Tour. Racing along the rooftops of a Japanese-inspired temple complex is a ton of fun, and it's filled with tight 90-degree turns and tons of alternate pathways on higher terrain that are exciting to pull off. The music is extremely catchy too, especially when it picks up in tempo for the final lap. The first track in a Mario Kart game sets the tone for the whole set of courses, and none do a better job of that than Mario Kart 8's Mario Kart Stadium. As the first Mario Kart course in HD, Mario Kart Stadium felt like a graphical breath of fresh air when 8 launched on Wii U in 2014, and it looked so good at the time. It was exciting to see how many fans they packed into the stands, and there's incredible attention to detail, like the Mario Kart TV theming everywhere that makes it seem like there are millions of Mushroom Kingdom citizens watching the race unfold. And we'll never forget approaching that first zero-gravity section for the first time, as Mario Kart 8's main new mechanic introduces itself with a lengthy climb that extends multiple stories into the sky.
Woohoo, yeah!
Easily the most polarizing Mario Kart track of all time, you probably either love or hate Baby Park, and enough people at IGN love it to land at a spot on this list. This simple 7-lap race is just a classic oval, but it's the barrage of items and unpredictable chaos that give it its legendary reputation. It's specifically at its best in Double Dash, where character-specific items like the baby's chain chomp, the Kong's giant banana peel, and the Bowser's huge shell take up a significant portion of the track, leaving you nowhere to hide. Apart from Rainbow Road, this is probably Mario Kart's most well-known track. It's pure chaos in its most distilled form, the essence of Mario Kart's nature in one track, and a huge part of the franchise's identity. There was no better feeling as a kid than when you were able to nail your friend with a shell or lightning bolt right as they were jumping the big hill in Wario Stadium, and no worse feeling when it happened to you. Lakitu didn't swoop down to save you, as you had to redo an enormous portion of the course instead of being fished out and placed back where you were. It's arguably the biggest test of friendship in any Nintendo game, but so satisfying nonetheless. You could really get a sense of timing your traps just right in order to do the most damage to an opponent. Other highlights of this N64 classic include the giant video board showing a live feed of the race, and the huge sold-out crowd that gave this race a greater sense of scale compared to other tracks at the time. Wario Stadium inspired tons of follow-ups in the years to come, including the next entry on this list.
Waluigi!
Coming off the chaotic dirt rally course of N64's Wario Stadium, we get yet another classic with the same vibes and more twists. Double Dash's Waluigi Stadium brings all the dirt rally fun of its predecessor and throws in giant artificial piranha plant obstacles and fire bars to spice things up. And ending the course with another big jump leads to make or break photo finishes. Falling in this big gap may not completely destroy racers' Grand Prix dreams this time, but it's still fun to try and ruin the race for others. Mario Kart Wii's Koopa Cape is such a classic that it immediately returned in both Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Booster Course Pass. There's so much variety in just one lap of this coastal track as you race through a tunnel with Goombas, a shallow river running through a forest that grants extra speed if you stay in the water, and finally an underwater tunnel with electric zappers you have to navigate around. Its theming is a fun combination of nature and industry, and it's by far the best Koopa track in the series. The Mario Kart tracks where the characters are shrunken down lead to some of the most creative themes, and Tick-Tock Clock is a fantastic example of that idea. Driving through a functioning clock with spinning platforms in the form of gears and avoiding swinging pendulums adds such an interesting element to the chaotic races. It's so satisfying to find the right paths to take to get a speed boost from the rotating gears, and the fact that it's based off the Super Mario 64 level of the same name is a great added bonus. There's something so thrilling about racing on a course full of so many twists and turns that you don't truly know who is in first or last place until you reach the finish line, and no track embraces that more than Yoshi's Valley. Sure, you can make a few educated guesses, but seeing all the character icons on the screen replaced with question marks as the race unfolds while everyone takes different routes leads to some truly exciting finishes. There were multiple pathways and secrets that you needed to run through trial and error so many times until you could finally figure out which was the best route to take to beat your friends. It really is the thrill of not knowing that made this track so memorable on the N64, and shout out to the giant egg at the end too, it's pretty great. Everything about Airship Fortress is constructed to make you feel as on edge as when you're platforming through an airship level in Super Mario Bros. 3. The intense music, the dark, stormy background, the bomber bills flying at you from the very start, the cannon launch into a giant tower. When you're driving through Airship Fortress, it feels like you're not supposed to be there, and few Mario Kart tracks outside of Bowser's Castle strike a tone that's this dark. And it's always fun to see Mario Kart tackle a theme inspired directly by one of the mainline platformers. We all love a nostalgia trip done well, and DK Spaceport is an awesome tribute to the Donkey Kong arcade game that started it all. Driving up a series of girders as a giant robot DK throws barrels at you is a ton of fun, and neat references in the music and on the track itself, like the oil drums at each turn, just add to the callbacks. As a track, DK Spaceport does a great job introducing you to Mario Kart World's parkour mechanics as well, with different segments dedicated to rail grinding, wall riding, and performing tricks, giving you a nice sample of all the techniques World expects you to master on its more difficult tracks.
Yay!
With all the crazy themed courses the series is known for, it's nice to see a proper circuit course executed so well. Royal Raceway starts in front of a sold-out crowd of excited fans before taking us through a handful of tight turns where tumbling into the water below can be devastating. But the true highlight is the enormous jump mid-race that leads to the iconic Princess Peach's castle from Super Mario 64 that we all took a detour to visit back in the day. It's a perfect Easter egg and the earliest look at this idea of exploring tracks in greater detail that Mario Kart World is built around. Coconut Mall probably contains the most iconic piece of music in Mario Kart history, and it's also one of the most varied and fun courses in the series. Driving up and down escalators, tricking off mall fountains, and avoiding cars in the parking lot driven by Miis from your Nintendo Wii is a blast. And I'm sure we all have memories driving up the wrong escalator and losing the lead, or getting hit in the parking lot by a car being driven by our own Mii. A shopping mall on Delfino Isle is also just a great concept for a course in general, and it was great seeing this one return in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Booster Course Pass. While Mario and Friends may have a corner on Nintendo's kart racing market, Mario Kart 8 gave us something a little different by bringing other beloved Nintendo franchises into the fold, including The Legend of Zelda. Hyrule Circuit takes us through a grassy Hyrule field, a fully realized Hyrule castle complete with the puzzle-solved sound effect if you hit all 3 of its spinners, and a quick trip through Castletown. There's even great small touches like replacing the coins with rupees. It's a joy racing around Hyrule and taking in the sights from a new perspective, and it was so much fun seeing Mario Kart branch out. Did you know Electrodrome is the only racetrack in Mario Kart history whose name is just one word? And it's Drome, not Dome, so it's also probably one of the most mispronounced tracks in series history. But fun facts aside, this is a fantastic course with vibrant neon colors, a unique EDM theme, and one of the strongest uses of Mario Kart 8's zero gravity. There's no track quite like Electrodrome, as I never would have guessed beforehand that we'd race through a Mushroom Kingdom rave where Shy Guys and Koopas dance along to the beat. That brings us to the top 10, beginning with Cloud Top Cruise. This Mario Kart 8 track hits all the right notes as a tribute to the Super Mario platformers while also standing as a great track on its own. As you drift around clouds and bounce off trampolines in the sky surrounded by gorgeous greenery while listening to the soundtrack inspired by Super Mario Galaxy, it's some of the best vibes on any Mario Kart track. Combine that with a quick ride through the 2D Mario's iconic airships that are invading the sky, and one of Mario Kart 8's best shortcuts where you hop across 2 leaves at the very end of the track, and you've got an all-time classic. I remember Wario's Gold Mine feeling like a roller coaster ride the first time I played it on Mario Kart Wii over 15 years ago, and it's held up as one of the most thrilling tracks in any Mario Kart. The initial dive down a rickety minecart track sets the stage for a twisty-turny ride through a cave swarming with bats, the actual mine shaft where carts filled with gold litter the path forward, and finally, the exit to the finish line, which has led to hundreds of last-second comebacks over the years. With plenty of stretches lacking guardrails, it's a test of your skill too, and overall another great entry in Wario's fantastic lineup of tracks, even if there's still one more to get to later on this list. Great Question Block Ruins is Mario Kart World's best non-Rainbow Road original course, and one of the most technical tracks in the series. Its shortcut potential is off the charts, with a crazy amount of opportunities to grind rails and ride walls. But even if you're not looking to speedrun the course, it's still a fantastic track on its own, taking place in a gorgeous golden temple in the sky hiding in the clouds. It's an instant classic, easily earning its place in the Mario Kart history books. DK Mountain from Double Dash is one of Mario Kart's earliest truly cinematic experiences. From the giant barrel cannon that blasts you to the top of a volcano, to racing down the mountain with giant boulders to avoid, this DK course is one of the most memorable in the series. It's got great shortcut potential since you can jump over one of its bottomless pits if you're up for the challenge, and it's also spawned many heartbreaking moments in the final stretch with that cursed wooden bridge. Waluigi only has 2 tracks named after him in the whole series, but both have earned a spot on our list. Waluigi Pinball is a fan favorite track, as shrunken down drivers racing around inside a pinball table hits a great balance between creativity and difficulty. Between the hairpin turns early on and the frightening giant pinballs at the last stretch of the course, This track keeps you on your toes the whole time. And the snazzy music fits Waluigi perfectly. This track is so memorable that it's informed much of Waluigi's personality in the years since, as even his dedicated minigame in Super Mario Party Jamboree is based on pinball. Maple Treeway is a standout from Mario Kart Wii, with some of the best music and overall vibes in the series. Driving through an autumn forest as leaves fall to the ground around you is the perfect setting for a chill Mario Kart course. And it's made even better with the calming music that accompanies the whole thing. Mario Kart Wii's lighting and distinct art style is also a perfect match for the golden hour setting of Maple Treeway. And even remakes of this very track haven't ever managed to capture the exact essence of the original. And I love the concept of items hiding in the piles of leaves, and it's always a great feeling when a star pops out. We could have gone in several directions for our Bowser's Castle pick, but we're going with the Wii version as the Koopa King's best lair. From its twisty opening hallway, to the giant Bowser statue that launches fireballs at oncoming drivers, to the final sweeping turn filled with thwomps to avoid, this track takes most elements of the best Bowser's Castles from across the series and combines them into one epic course. It's a shame this track never made a return in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because it'd be fantastic to see it fully realized in HD for the first time. For hardcore F-Zero fans, it's still tough to believe that Mario Kart 8's incredible renditions of Mute City and Big Blue even exist. We went with Big Blue for the F-Zero spot on this list, as turning one of F-Zero's most iconic locations into a thrilling multi-segment downhill water slide is a truly inspired take. It's a wonderful love letter to Nintendo's lesser-known racing series, and an exhilarating roller coaster ride even for those who aren't familiar with the source material. It's one of the fastest tracks in the series, living up to F-Zero's legacy, and the jazz big band rendition of the instantly recognizable Big Blue theme is amazing too. And this track still makes us long for a modern F-Zero game. Mount Wario feels like it was pulled straight out of an action movie. It's one of the best cases of a track that takes place over unique segments instead of the traditional 3 laps, as Mount Wario ushers you through icy backcountry terrain, a fully developed dam filled with boost pads, a tricky escape sequence through a forest where you dodge dozens of trees, and finally, an epic descent to the finish down ski slopes surrounded by cheering fans. Not a single second is wasted, as Mount Wario is always showing you something entirely new, with an incredible soundtrack that changes to match the vibe of each section. It's the best Mario Kart track ever that doesn't take place in outer space, and a lot of its best qualities also reside in the #1 track on our list. Rainbow Road is always one of the highlights of any Mario Kart game, but for this list we limited ourselves to just one choice to represent the most iconic set of levels in the series. And for our pick, we're going with the newest iteration, Mario Kart World's Rainbow Road. This isn't just recency bias talking either. After dozens of races over the last several weeks on the newest Rainbow Road, it has cemented its standing as the best Mario Kart track of all time. It may be one of the easier Rainbow Roads in terms of difficulty, but it's so breathtakingly gorgeous and cinematic that it easily makes up for it. Rainbow Road takes place across 4 distinct sections, each one entirely different than the last. It starts with a very classic take on the course, with a beautiful stained glass-like road with the iconic kaleidoscope color palette. Then, it takes on a chiller vibe as the music calms down and we surf across a starry river that gives serious Mario Galaxy vibes. After that, it kicks it up a notch as a more electronic, upbeat arrangement of the track's music takes us through a space station filled with tight corners and rainbow thwomps. Finally, the last lap begins and we get a stunning bird's eye view of the entire continent Mario Kart World takes place on. A reflective, celebratory orchestral melody kicks in, and characters from across the game appear to cheer you on to the finish line. Here, it becomes instantly apparent that this is the greatest achievement in the series, and a track we'll be talking about and racing on for years to come. It's a finale on the level of Nintendo games like Super Mario Odyssey and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and we'll never forget the first time we raced on it. It's tough to imagine how Nintendo will top this one, but they always seem to find a way. Until that happens, Mario Kart World's Rainbow Road is our pick for the best Mario Kart track of all time. Those are our picks for the top 25 Mario Kart tracks of all time. What's your favorite track on our list? Did we leave out a personal favorite of yours? Leave a nice comment and let us know. For more Nintendo rankings, check out our recent video of the best Nintendo launch games of all time. And for everything else Nintendo, keep it right here at IGN.